Hey dudes, welcome to Splat from the Past, the only 80s themed horror and sci-fi show where things can get totally radical. Now today, I will be interviewing a good friend of mine from the Bay Area who I've been friends with for, 7 years now. I used to work with her at Michael's Arts and Crafts in San Mateo. Her name is Lauren Liuzzi, and I'm having her on the show today. She's had an amazing journey, as all you know I have as well. And we're going to talk about all that stuff today and talk about what we've been through and all that stuff. And it's going to be pretty good. So, here is my interview with Lauren Liuzzi. Hey, Lauren.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. So I'm excited for you for the big move. That must be really awesome. You've worked so hard.
Yeah, it's a trial run, but it's still good, and I've made so many contacts on this podcast. It's profound.
Yeah, I've been watching all the people you've been interviewing, and yeah, you've been getting some really, really good interviews, and a lot of people that myself and also the public would be interested in. So I think that's really awesome that you've been able to work your way up and to find that motivation and that drive, and to just keep doing what you're doing.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. I mean, God, 453 now. I mean, it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, there's nothing more than just going forward and and rising, which is really cool. And that's good that you have more connections in LA now, because I know you've been traveling over there for a while, but now to have a substantial place to be, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I got this one friend out there that I'm gonna stay with and stuff, and she's going through a rough time right now, but at least I get to stay out there. And then when I get things going on, then my mom can come out there too. She's got her own troubles over here with my brother and stuff, and his alcoholism's getting bad.
Oh man, were you able to share your experience with your brother to see if maybe he, would be able to get more into a more positive path, or is he just at a time where he's not really in listening mode yet?
He's somewhat there, but it's really rough on him because he can't see his kids except on Skype on Tuesdays, and it's destroying him, and it's just so sad to watch.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's hard when you have to watch someone go through something, because you want to help them and guide them in the right direction, but sometimes just sitting by and just being support sometimes is a good enough way to to help them. But you're such a caring person, so I know that's not easy to sit by and watch.
No, it's really rough, but I don't know what's going to happen, but I just hope, he gets smart soon, because he's halfway to some real darkness,
Oh, man. Is he at least trying to stay busy, or is he too focused on, that aspect?
Okay, he moved in here end of February. He had just lost his job. He was at that job for like 6 years and making probably the most money he's ever made in his life, like $50 an hour, installing security cameras for a security company. And then he claimed he had some contacts down here. I don't know if he really does, and he's gotten in touch with them, but he's just been, either on some days he's drinking, on other days he's not drinking, and he's just watching TV and doing nothing. And I've been busy myself doing this podcast. I'm about to go do a horror movie show that I'm writing and stuff. I mean, I just been involved in my own stuff. I mean, I do want to help him. I want him to go out there and get a job, and I want to help him. But it's a rough time right now.
Oh, that horror movie show that you're going to produce, is that one script that you sent me a while ago, or is this a totally different project?
What script did I send you?
Oh, I think it was Cougar. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the whole name, but it's Cougar something.
Blood Draw Cougars.
I actually still have it.
Yeah. That was in 2016, early 17. I wrote that. That's on the back burner. No. This is not a movie because Blood Draw Cougars was a movie. This is a horror movie show. You know how you have a host presenting the horror movie.
Oh, okay, kind of like oh my
Elvira.
gosh, I'm blanking on it, but I remember Coffee TV20. They used to have one.
Yes, they still do.
I have a feeling it's kind of like that, where it's like late night and you're like introducing the shows.
Yes, they still do have it. Creature Features, and I watch it.
Yes, that's what it is. I love it. I love that show.
Yes, they have it on YouTube every Saturday. I watch it because I can't get it up here in the Bay Area, up here in Redding from the Bay Area. But yeah, I'm doing a show like that, except it's gonna be politically incorrect. You know, I'm sure you're not surprised. Me and my friends, it's like 8 of us. We're gonna like do some funny sketches in between, and me and this comedian friend of mine, we're gonna host together. I tried to get some of my horror celebrity friends who live in the Bay Area to be in this, and they are all busy and stuff. This was like the worst time to do it, but this is the only time I can do it right now. And so we're gonna film it next Saturday at my friend's living room in San Francisco, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, they're all looking forward to doing it.
That's really cool. I'm so proud of you. That's so cool that you just keep going and you keep, just pushing yourself to reach those limits and to find those opportunities.
Yeah, and I told everybody about this, both people in the business and out of the business, and all my friends in the Bay Area, and they were all like, "Oh, can I be in it?" And then that's how it became a communal effort like this. And I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe I have some friends who are on the same page as me and want to do this. It's so cool.
Yeah, more power to you for being able to do skits and everything, because I did a commercial for my work a couple weeks ago. I admit I don't know if I actually made the cut for the commercial, but I didn't realize when you're doing commercials it involves acting, and I thought like I'd be able to channel and just do it right away. Even though it was like a small smidge of what people do in the business, like I have way more respect for actors more than ever. I mean, I always respected actors, but because of that experience, like just being able to be vulnerable and be able to channel emotions right away and be genuine without it, like that's a real talent and a real gift, and that's something that I thought I could be able to do. But unfortunately, like when people are directing, telling you to do this, like smile here, tell a joke here, pretend to laugh here, like it was like too much for me, and I wasn't able to really, get the quality that they were looking for. So now that I have like a little bit of an inside of what it's like to do that, I just have way more respect, just for people to be able to do something like that, especially to do it genuinely, like to really feel that emotion, to show that emotion, and to channel that emotion. So now that I understand how some actors, how they say, sorry, I got sirens going on, like how some actors say that they really like get attached to a character or like have a piece of the character with them. Like now I completely get what they're talking about, and how some actors have a problem letting go of a character because like they've been a character for so long, that's kind of part of their personality. So like to fully like understand what they mean about that, it's actually, it's really interesting, and it was really mind blowing, and it got myself to have like more of a perspective on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where are you working at now?
Oh, I'm working for Linfo. It's a garden place. Yeah, I'm actually a salesperson, so I take orders for landscapers, gardeners, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's actually a really good company. It's a family-owned company, so it's kind of like having like a second family, which is really nice.
Yeah, my dad was doing that kind of stuff for the city of San Carlos, and he did a little bit for San Mateo too, but they let him go because he's not Mexican. And
it's not. I admit it's not an easy business. It's a very, very go kind of mentality. So you got to be able to, to keep up with that pace. And sometimes it's not really easy for me because, I'm actually more of a mellow, type B, kind of personality. You have to be really type A, to be in that kind of industry. But I make it work, though.
That's good. Yeah, at least it's not retail. Oh my God! I can't believe I survived Michael's. I was there about a year ago when I was in town for a week, and like everybody I knew that was there is gone now.
I mean, I still see some people that we used to work with. But, you know what? Actually, I take that back. Yeah, I think everybody that you knew has already moved on to other things, because like when I was about to leave Michael's, I know a handful of people are still there, but yeah, I don't know, it's weird. I think in a weird way I kind of like retail because it's more, there's more to do in it. Like you're stocking something, you're talking to somebody, you're cleaning something. It's like more active. And because I've tried doing office jobs before, and it's really hard for me just to be in one cubicle in one spot, for 8 hours. Like I'd rather have like a little bit more freedom, in that aspect.
Yeah. I couldn't figure out for the longest time why so many people turned on me there, and I figured it out now. I think a lot of them had to finish whatever work that I screwed up, at the end of the day or something. Or, I know some people got pissed at me because towards the end when I was trying to get myself fired, to collect my disability money, I know a lot of them were pissed because, their shift was over and I wasn't there yet. And I think that's another reason why.
Yeah, some people, they're too focused on their own abilities and their own accomplishments that they don't see, struggles or challenges like that as an opportunity to help other people. Like, if they would have turned around and would have been like, hey, like, how can I help this person, or what do I need to help this person? I think that would have been a more positive, outcome. But unfortunately, everybody's too busy with, well, I got to do this, I got to leave, like I have this project going, why isn't this person here yet? And it took me turning inward and realizing like how I affect people, to get better, in my working situations. It's funny, like in like personal and social situations, like I knew how to do that already, but when it came to work, I actually had to learn how to like integrate and like gain those skills in my working aspects.
Yeah, I mean, it was just insane, and once they started, they started having me work on the cash register, and I got really stressed out from doing it because the customers were just dicks to me. That's when I started trying to get another job. Even though I was fighting the state about getting my disability money and stuff, I knew I had to have money and work and stuff. I was trying to get a job at Stanford Movie Theater, I remember, because I knew somebody who worked there. But as it turned out, he had already left by the time I got there. That's why I didn't get it.
Well, I remember that you were more drawn to that part of the Bay Area instead of like further, up the peninsula.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that might have been like another aspect of it. It's just you weren't in like the environment where you could thrive,
Yeah, well, by the time I lost my job at the bar that I worked at in San Mateo in 2009, I just lost my trust in San Mateo, so I was just working my way up down south and north of the peninsula and stuff, and I met some pretty interesting people on those sides too. I thought that they were better, but they weren't.
Yeah, I mean, at least took the risk to meet more people, So that's how you could look at it, because unfortunately, you don't really know how people are until you let your guard down and see, fully what they're about and what they're capable of and what their motivation and their intentions are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was just an insane time. I remember just before I left the Bay Area, I went to Michael's and I saw a couple people there. I remember Julie was still there. She was still giving me the stink eye like she always did. And Lisa was still there. She was doing it too. But then I saw Denise, and she was actually nice to me. We had a nice little chat.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, at least some people are able to, not hold on to that kind of stuff, you know.
Well, she was hardly ever there, and she didn't really get to know me that well. I mean, she was, I think, she was the one who trained me. She showed me the training video after Liz had hired me, and that was the extent of everything. We saw each other occasionally because she was only there working mornings, and I worked there a lot of afternoons and evenings and stuff. So, once the cash register stuff came in for me, because I was working the 3 a.m. truck in the beginning, which was, God, horrendous.
Oh, yeah, I can't imagine doing that.
Yeah, oh my God, because, my friend John, he got me in there, and, I felt like I let him down and stuff. And I never went to John's house again after that, only because I felt like I let him down. And plus, other things came up in my life with my drinking, my accident, etc. I've tried to talk to him and stuff. I did talk to him very briefly a year ago, and then I tried to get him on the podcast, but his grandmother is dying, and he's been taking care of her like excessively and stuff. But I hope we get to do it though, because we needed to talk longer than we did in text messaging a year ago, because there's so much he does not know from that time, and I just felt like I let him down when I had to get myself fired and everything, and I did really bad work. It wasn't intentional at all.
Well, yeah. When you're at a job where where it's not your element, I mean that's gonna happen. Because when I was in data entry, like I tried to do my best, but I wasn't meeting their requirements. And that's kind of stressful when you have a job where you only do one thing, and then you can't even do that one thing accurately.
Yeah, I mean, he and we hung out consistently for 5 years before that and stuff. And I'd known his brother since we were kids, and his mother was our librarian in elementary school. And I met him later and stuff because he was younger than us. And yeah, he got me that job, and I didn't even expect it to. I was there applying, and I saw him working there, and he worked his magic and got it. And he had just he wasn't promoted, but they trusted him enough to give him keys to the place.
Oh, I actually thought he was management. I mean, I know he always worked, the late, the overnight shift, but
he was
I only work with him a couple hours, I think.
he was semi-manager because he did write me up one time, but he wasn't. He was on the verge of becoming one, and then probably about maybe 2 years after I left, he had a huge falling out with Glenn.
Oh man, yeah. Actually, I left when Glenn was still running the store, so. Yeah, he definitely ran things differently, but so I know people that've been with the company for a while. Since he was a new person, they weren't used to the kind of values he was teaching, because he was teaching the more upgraded values. So I know a lot of people had resistance with that, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just a weird fucking time, and I was at the beginning of my drinking getting really bad at that time, because it started a year before, and then it started to get bad at that time, and then by 13, it got really bad, and then it became full throttle in 14. I went through periods during that year where I stopped and then went back to it, and then when my best friend died in his car crash 2 months before mine, that's when you lost me until the accident.
Yeah. Do you know what triggered your drinking? What made you, use that as a coping mechanism? Or?
Well, when I was working in the bar, I was sober, and a lot of people talked behind my back and said, "Oh, you can't trust him because he's sober. You know, he's probably a rapist or something." Just bad, terrible things. Yeah, terrible things. And so by 11, a couple things had happened to me. I had a friend who committed suicide. Um, what else happened? There was a couple things that happened during that time, and I was miserable all the time because after I lost that job at that bar, it made me feel like somebody for the first time in my entire life. Like I was on top of the world. I was getting everything I wanted. I was going to places, getting free food, free drinks, lots of sex nightly. I mean, just it was a great job. But then I just was miserable for 2 years. So I was like, I need to get happy. So I started just drinking, and then it spiraled out of control.
Oh man! And at least you're able to identify what triggered that and what made it progress.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I just I just got to a point where it's just I didn't care anymore. Especially after my friend had his accident and died, I just got to a point where I just didn't care anymore. And that accident saved me. That accident gave me balls I didn't know I had.
Yeah, sometimes unexpected things like that help give you a broader perspective of life and make you appreciate what you already do have and what you can work towards having, in the future.
Hmm. Oh, here's something profound. Back in March, my aunt died, and
Oh God.
I hadn't seen her in 10 years because around I want to say maybe around Christmas time, maybe early 2010, she moved away because her boyfriend slash fiance was beating her, and he was my age, and I went to school with him,
Oh
and
whoa, that's wow.
yeah,
It's not easy.
they were about 20 years apart in age, but so she distanced herself from everybody in San Mateo. The only people she talked to were my cousins. That was it. And she didn't talk to the rest of the family. So I didn't see her and stuff, and I felt really bad about it for a long time. And so my dad called me and told me that she had died. It was cancer, and I went to go walk on the treadmill because I go to the gym daily because I'm on a diet. I've lost 35 pounds on my diet so far. I need to lose.
Wow, you feel like a whole new person already.
I need 100 pounds, because I'm really heavy right now. I gained a lot of weight back when I moved out of here and stuff. A little bit before I left too. But so I'm on the treadmill walking, and I remember 10 years ago, one night at the bar, me, her, and my best friend Michael, who died in that crash, are hanging out. And they knew each other. They worked together at Long's Drugs in San Mateo back when me and Michael were in high school. And that's when it hit me that they were both gone. And I started crying hysterically on the treadmill, and I almost fell off of it. So I had to stop, and I was just a basket case.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy at all.
I cried for about 2 hours, and I was thinking about all the things that happened to me in 2009 when I was working in that bar that I could have avoided and that I could have gone back to, I wish I could go back to and fix, you know. And 2009 is like the one year I wish I could do over again because I had so many situations where I could have got myself out of shit that happened in that bar and stuff. The first year working there was great, and then the second year was living hell. I got into a lot of toxic relationships, toxic environments, all that stuff. And I just wish I could do that. I wish I could do it over again, but then again, I had to learn and grow.
That's interesting that 2009 was your bad year because that was actually the same year I had my rock bottom before I went into recovery, and that was actually not a good year for me either because just like you, I ended up getting involved with the worst people like I could ever meet in my entire life. that, told me they were my friends and then gained my trust, and then I found out that they were all just predators and they were just trying to use me, and it's just, just like you said, now I realize I had to go through that in order to find recovery and in order to get into a better place within myself, because if I didn't meet those people, I'd probably still, be using drugs to this day,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's I think it's ironic that we both had that stuff in 2009, but I think that's a reason why we came together and that we're friends.
Yeah, because we both started working at Michael's. I think it was 2010 or 2011, and that was around my first year in recovery. So yeah, I think that's how the universe brought us together as friends, for sure.
I got there March of 2012, and you had just come back from Kmart. You were there after I was.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause I was at Kmart for a year in from 2010 to 2011, and then I ended up, at first I was actually working, I think I was working at Michael's during the day and Kmart at night, and then eventually I ended up just staying at Michael's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was there November of 09 to March of 10. That was the job. I started my job there that Monday after I got fired. I got fired Thanksgiving weekend, that Saturday. And ironically, that was my last night working there anyways. I had told him, that had to be my last weekend because I was starting the new job. And that was, even though I knew it was going to be seasonal, I didn't think I was going to be there longer than I was. I just, I needed to get out of that bar, working there. And they ended up keeping me 2 more months, and all that shit happened, with that guy with the fake credit cards who was buying all those gift cards that got me fired and so many other people after me.
Oh, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, was he trying to say that you helped him, put credit on those credit cards, or?
Yeah, to put, he wanted $250 on each of these gift cards. It was the ones where there's no specific price, and I kept putting $250 on each of them. They went through, but he was doing some, fraud shit. I don't know.
Yeah, using cards that he probably bought off of somewhere or something.
Right. And I don't know anything about this kind of stuff, so I can't tell you how he did it. But the way you described it is probably pretty accurate to what it was. But yeah, a lot of people got fired because of that. I found out later. From Ian and Lydia, who was working there. I got to hang out with all of them, and Kathy. I got to hang out with all of them, after I left there, and they all told me, similar stories.
That's just interesting how someone else was a target, and I don't understand why they got fired. I guess because they thought, they knew better or knew it was a scam or something. That doesn't make sense,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was a black guy, and you know what he did? Oh my God, he said, "Hey Tommy," and I was like, "How do you know my name?" And he said, "Because I went to high school with you." I was like, "What, you did?" And he's like, "No, I'm just kidding. I kept just reading your name tag." He was trying to use some charm with me.
Oh man,
He was older than me.
I didn't know that's why everybody got fired from there. Because I heard about that scam, but I guess I just lucked out and it just didn't happen to me there. That scam was around when I was working at Pet Food Express, but again, I just lucked out and didn't have to be the one to ring up the people. But I still don't think it's fair that you guys got fired for that, because it's the person that's doing the scam that's making that decision. It's not like you're okaying it by ringing the person up. And plus, if you guys didn't know what was going on, it'd be another thing if you knew for sure what was going on and trying to do comeuppance on the company or something. But it sounds like that wasn't what was going on at all.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't think it was everybody, but just certain people who worked behind the register. But yeah, that was crazy. And oh my God, I missed that manager Sandra who worked there, because I'd be like looking at my schedule or something, and she would come up and she would start tickling me because she thought I was cute. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think I'm assuming she's still at the company because they still have a Kmart in Redwood City, but I don't know
No,
how well that one's doing.
no, they closed down actually just a while ago.
Oh wow, okay, I didn't know that one doesn't exist anymore either. Wow.
Yeah, because my mom went there when she was down there a year ago, and they were on its way out.
Oh wow. Yeah, 'cause I don't really go around that part of Redwood City, so I had no idea.
Yeah, I actually like that Kmart better. I actually regret not applying to work at that one because I think I would have had a better experience, you know. But you live and you learn. I'm trying to remember. Right before my accident, just before my mom told me to file for unemployment, so I can not work for a while, so hopefully I can get my disability money back. I was applying for jobs in that shopping center where Kmart is or was in Redwood City. I was trying to work at Toys R Us. I was trying to work at Kohl's, all these different places, and I didn't get into any of them. And also, after I left the security company where I was working at Menlo College, I tried to work for the security company that did security around that shopping center, Forbes. And so, oh my God, there's a funny story here. So I remember it was the middle of December. It was a Thursday night, I remember, and I had maybe $10 in cash on me and maybe $7 on my food stamp EBT card. And so I go to Safeway, and all I can afford is like two meatballs in the deli, and they're huge. They have huge meatballs in the deli, and that's like my dinner for the night, and a Pepsi. That was it. And
Man.
I get a voicemail on my phone a few moments later from a guy who works for Forbes. It's like 6 o'clock at night or something. It's just before the deli is like closing. And he says, can you come in tomorrow, for an interview to work at the Boardwalk Shopping Center in Redwood City? And I called my mom up and I told her about it. And I said, hey, Mom, can you give me can you send me some money so I can, take Bart up there and stuff? She's like, I can't. I'm not going to have any money until Saturday. And I was like, damn. So I think I called him back and said I couldn't do it and stuff. And he's like, oh, that's a shame because you look a lot more qualified than most of the other people that I've read. And I was like, yeah, but I can't get up there. I have no money to do it. So yeah, I couldn't do it. Yeah.
How was your Easter?
Oh my God. Okay, you ready for this? So my mom has also been struggling with drinking too. And so,
oh no. Okay, she didn't seem like the type. I didn't know that.
well, she started late. She was when I first met you, she was just drinking red wine on occasion, and it wasn't that bad. But she's been drinking whiskey like my brother the last year or so. I don't know how it started, but it got really scary. Starting from the day before Easter until last Thursday, her and my brother were on an alcohol binge.
Oh man. Oh, so they're doing this together now, or
No,
is this more of a past tense thing?
this was just a one-time thing, and they just, when you're that fucked up on alcohol, you don't know what you're doing and stuff, and like he couldn't say no to her, so I had to take away the keys and the wallets in order for this to stop, and it did.
Oh gosh.
Now my mom called in sick on work on Sunday and said I can't come in tomorrow. And then Tuesday, when she was finally sober before the drinking started again, she said she's not going to be in until the following week, right? So the boss likes her, said okay, she's got 5 weeks left until retirement anyways. She's retiring June 1st.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah. So she sobered up Friday, Saturday. Saturday we got to go do stuff. She took me for my haircut. She tried to get me some of those, those rubber things at the bottom of a cane, prong cane. We were trying to look for some new ones because mine are worn out for like the last year. We couldn't find them, of course, but we tried. There's a medical store around here that was just closed, but we're going to try to go to that when she comes back down next week. Because my mom works in the Bay Area, and I only get to see her on the weekends.
Oh my gosh! So what does she do? Stay at like a hotel during the week? Or?
She does when she has the money to, but she stays at her friend's house, who's a coworker of hers. They've known each other for like 25 plus years.
Oh, okay. At least she's got a way to do that. And yeah, that situation is actually very common. Like at my work, like most of my coworkers either live in Sacramento or Tracy, yet they still work in the Bay Area because the pay rates in the Bay Area are way higher than where they live locally. So it's just like, unfortunately, that's the common thing these days.
Yeah, so she was working down here when I first got up here, and then she got laid off around October, and that same day she got offered a job in the Bay Area in San Jose, and then she got laid off 6 months ago, and then went to Union City. And luckily, my mom's on everyone's good side because she gets one job to the next now, and she never got that years before that when we were all at our worst, when we lost our place to live and stuff. So she was staying at my brother's place. My brother had an apartment in Fremont, and he had to move out when he lost his job in February, and that's why he's over here. And so yeah, she's been staying in the hotel. She's been staying at her coworker's place. And that's working out for her, but she's at that point now where she just wants to retire. She doesn't want to work, and if she does work, it's going to be a part-time easy job for like 3 days a week or something, kind of like Susan did at Michael's.
Yeah, it's actually what one of my aunts that just turned 60. That's actually what she's doing. She's just working at Hallmark just for fun, just for something to do, because she's happily retired, but there's only so much, so many hobbies, and things you could do to keep up your time, So yeah, she's doing the same thing. She's only working like 3 times a week for, I think it's like only between like 2 to 4 hours or something like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's working out, but she's been going to AA meetings all week in the Bay Area, and she's working in Union City now, and that's where she's staying up there, and she's doing better, and I'm very proud of her. And she hasn't been tempted at all. She's been feeling really good.
Well, that's good, and I mean that's good that she's already starting to go to meetings and everything, and that's, at least she's recognizing it and taking action, which is really nice. I had no idea that she was working in the Bay Area still and then going back to Reading. That's wow.
Well,
that's intense.
Yeah, well, like I said, she started out here. She was laid off, and then she got hired to work in San Jose for a year, and then went to Union City. And before we went to LA for that trip. I was with her for 2 days in Union City in a hotel, and oh my God, we ate this really cool steakhouse. It was a Texas-style steakhouse that was so damn good, and the baked potato was just awesome.
That is pretty cool. Actually, this Easter that just passed, I actually made my first Easter dinner. It was actually pretty fun, and like the whole time I felt like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I could do this, like working my way up to it, but I ended up keeping it simple. It was just honey glazed ham with some rosemary roast potatoes and some green beans. But I was very proud of myself because ham, that is not easy to cook all the way through. You have to really keep glazing it and keep watching it and make sure the temperature's right.
Yeah, we had a honey ham on Easter. It was pretty good.
Yeah, honey glazed definitely my favorite by far.
Been over to San Bruno lately?
When's the last time I've been in San Bruno? Actually, I think I was there like last week. I know they're having a lot of developments going on. Like I think downtown they're starting to do those stacked apartments, and they're doing construction in the Bay Hill Shopping Center. And San Fran's still doing really well. That's still pretty much staying the same from what I've seen. Yeah, it's weird. Even though San Bruno is my hometown, and all I wanted to do was to get away from there. Like now that I live in San Mateo and been at San Mateo, now I actually want to move back to San Bruno.
I was.
Yeah, it's funny.
Go ahead.
Funny when I was growing up, I used to always want to live in San Mateo because the weather was nice, and I felt like there's much more to do there, which is actually true. But I kind of miss that hometown feeling. That small, quaint feeling.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. I was gonna go meet up with a friend of mine in San Bruno when I was in town last September. I was going to San Francisco to see a screening of a movie with a guest that I've had on the podcast, Veruca Salt from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
Yeah, that was a cool screening. But I was going to meet up with my friend when I was in town. She lived in San Bruno. She's born and raised there. She's older than us, and we were going to go to Rolling Pin Donuts to meet up. And that was like my favorite donut place that I loved to go to when I was hanging out at the bar Newell's in San Bruno. I used to go to Rolling Pin. I remember that same December. From the last story I told you, I was down there, and I was just feeling so depressed. Like, God, where's my life going? Where's my life going? I'm sitting on the bench outside eating these donuts, thinking that, and there's so many cops coming in to get donuts.
What's a trip is the Newell's sign at the bar you're talking about. That is actually considered a landmark.
Yeah.
Like, I was shocked when I found that out. I was like, really? Like out of all the things in San Bruno, like, that's the thing that's considered a landmark.
I'd rather it be that than the doghouse.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, actually, at my rock bottom, that's actually one of the places I used to go to a lot, was the doghouse, actually. Like, before I started getting, like, really, really bad. Like, whenever I was, like, having fights with my current, like, using partners, that's actually where I would go to hang out to, like, blow up steam.
Yeah, I went there one time, and that was shortly before my accident. I went to go see a bartender I knew who was friggin' nuts, and the place was completely dead, and didn't have a desire to ever go back again. There's a bar on the El Camino in South City I'd never been to. It's called the Fairway. It's like a golf themed dive bar or something.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because I know a good amount of South City, but yeah, when it comes to the bars, I don't know that part of the scene too well, but I know, like, Baden and Spruce, like, that part of the area, like, that downtown area.
Yeah, when I was living up at that shitty group home up in Daly City, I used to see the Fairway on the way over when I was taking the bus down to San Carlos. I would see it all the time. And by the way, that group home got shut down. They got cracked down by the police.
Oh, wow, a raid?
Yeah, well, what happened was this. Oh, my God. I got chills down my back, and I got a bit of post-traumatic stress disorder when I saw this. Because I was sexually assaulted in that place.
Oh, Jesus, I didn't know that. Oh, my God.
It was just a mild thing, you know. I woke up, and one of the caregivers was making out with me, you know. I still
Okay, at least it's just that, but still, Jesus, like, ugh.
Yeah,
so not okay.
Yeah, so what happened, you know, these two brothers own it, and their mother is one of the caregivers, and the wife. And so for 10 years, from 08 to 18, they were laundering like $10 million.
Oh, so they were saying, so it sounds like they were lying about their renting rates and turning it over? it
they're
sounds like. Is that's what they're doing, or?
yes, renting rates of not only their group homes but also their daycare centers for children. They have
Oh my God.
they had
Wow.
let's see, they had one group home in Daly City, one in I think Hayward, and another one I think in South City, if I'm not mistaken. And then they had like two daycare centers, and they were getting daycare workers from the Philippines in, and they were being treated like shit. They were like basically slaves. They were being told they could only sleep 1 hour a day. They had to be up 23 hours, and they were barely paying them. And the guy who got me in there, who signed me up, he raped four of them, and he's been charged with that.
Jesus, that must have been what blew the whistle on that, maybe.
Yeah, and they talked to the other disabled people who were in that group home, and they said that nothing ever bad happened to them, but yet they're like borderline retarded, so of course they're going to
So
say
they probably
something.
didn't know. Yeah.
Yeah, that I was never safe there. I felt so scared there. I mean, that making out incident didn't happen until the last week I was there, but the whole 3 months I was there, I was terrified beyond belief, and I had clothes stolen from me. Um, I never ate in that place. I ate there one time, and the food was disgusting, and it was just a really bad environment. And then that the home you visited me in before I left, that we watched the movie in, they once I started getting my disability money back, they took all my money each check, and my mom had to give me
Oh man, and I didn't even get a bad vibe from that place. That sucks. I thought that was like a good place for you.
no, and I had to get $50 from my mom every 2 weeks, and it was just I had to get me out of there. It was getting that bad. I mean, there were some issues that happened there, but not as bad and stuff. And oh my God, there were some crazy people that were working there too. A couple of them.
Yeah, and you would think like people that work in that industry would learn how to take care of themselves so that they can be, stable for the people they're taking care of. Because it sounds like they didn't know any self-care, so unfortunately that festered into, bad intentions instead of them, providing.
Yeah, and it was owned by two black women, and they were cool until once my disability money came. They became absolute bitches.
Man, that's very eye-opening. That's scary to know that, it can be like that out there. You would assume people will get into that business because they want to, help and be caregivers and be nurturing and, help uplift people that are in need.
Yeah, oh God, I interviewed this actress, and me and my mom had breakfast with her when we were in LA. She quit acting 30 years ago to become a social worker for disabled children, and she got to be a caregiver for group homes for disabled children, and she saw everything that I saw there, and she raised hell about it. She talked to Congress. She talked to the city of Los Angeles workers. She tried everything she could to get all that stuff to stop, and it made her blood pressure climb so sky high. She had to give up the business. It was that bad after 25 years.
Oh my God.
So now she's back acting, which can also raise your blood pressure up if you're not working. But
Yeah, and that's another reason why I give them so much credit because it's like working a commission job, like you
yeah,
gotta really like find that one big deal and then find a way to survive off that one deal, and then you're always in between. It's just like, whew, I couldn't deal with that pressure.
yeah. Oh my God, it was just horrific. Oh my God, and there was this woman that worked there. She was an absolute whack job. She was a recovering alcoholic that the owner owned. She had money. She owned several houses, and she had a sober living house in San Mateo that she worked in, and she gave her work. And I don't know how she had her working there for as long as she did. I mean, she was there the whole 3 years I was there, and she's probably still there. But I don't know how she has her working there. She's always forgetful. She always she's always coming in without knocking. She's just, oh my God, just friggin' insane. I don't know how she's working there.
Well, I think sometimes, they just got to try to retain what they do have, because unfortunately, I mean, even though it's a high demand business, the people that get into the business, sometimes they don't know how to handle, what they need to handle, or even though they gain the skills, like emotionally, it's kind of can be kind of heavy sometimes.
Yeah, I'm just glad I'm far away from there.
Yeah. That's the truth that you mentioned Wellington, because I used to have friends that lived in Vallejo. They originally lived in San Bruno. That would actually go all the way from Vallejo just to get some Wellington donuts.
You remember back when they used to have a Mr. Pickles in San Bruno?
Yeah, I think it was across the way around that part of the area.
Well, I just heard that they closed down the one in Millbrae.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and that one was really popular. That one was actually more popular than the one in San Mateo.
Oh, the San Mateo one was really popular amongst San Mateo High and Aragon and Hillsdale kids. They used to go there all the time. It's funny, I didn't start going there until after high school because we didn't have an open campus. And so, after school, my mom and I, we'd go to Jack in the Box. That was not too far from San Mateo High. And that was what we did, but I didn't start going to Mr. Pickles until after high school.
Yeah, I wish I actually went to school and they still had the open campus, because, I think it makes school more exciting, to be able to step away from it and then come back. And I think in a way it kind of teaches kids, more about, skills of once they're working, how to time manage, how to get, back to school in time. But unfortunately, I guess too many bad apples just broke that trust, where schools just decided not to really do that anymore.
Did I ever tell you about the time I had sex in a car outside of Cappuccino High?
Oh, no.
Yeah,
were you still at high school then, or was that
no,
before or after?
No, this was actually 2009. I met this older woman at Newell's. We were singing karaoke, and we went and got some food at Jack in the Box on the El Camino there, and then we went and parked over by Cappuccino High School outside of there and stuff. She put on Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, and next thing you know, she's blowing me in the car, and we're making out and doing stuff. And I swear to God, I heard that album twice. That's how long it took.
Yeah, some interesting tunes for that moment.
Yeah, because after the album's over, it starts over again. Yeah.
That is very true.
That was very true. Yeah. Are you seeing anybody?
No, not at the moment. I would like to, but the whole school, going to night school and then working during the day, it just makes it kind of tough for that. I'm at least making time for meetings now, because before I was so focused on school, I wasn't even going to meetings. So I'm at least doing that now to get some more time out of working, because I guess I might be a workaholic, because I can't help it. Once I have a goal, I'll be really driven to that goal to work to the point where I don't make balance out time for other more light-hearted projects.
Yeah, what are you learning at night school?
Well, I'm actually what I really want to do is become a psychologist, but I'm actually doing the AOD counseling program to become a drug and other or alcohol and other drugs counselor. So once I get certified in that, that'll help me, gain the hours and the internship hours into becoming becoming a psychologist. So it's gonna be a long haul. That's for sure. So my backup plan is if I decide not to be a psychologist is I might, just like you were mentioning about one of your friends, I might become a social worker instead. It just depends on how I feel like once I get certified, like where I'm at that time, you know.
Do you think you'll have your shit together by the time you're 40?
Well, my goal is to be a certified counselor by 40. That's interesting that you have that question because that's actually my personal goal is to at least have that certificate by the time I'm 40, just so I have something, you know, under my belt. And I mean, you never know. Maybe once I'm a social worker, I'll fall in love with that instead. Because you know, I want to be a psychologist. In reality, like I don't know if I want to be like in my 50s, like still going to school and working during the day. You know. Mm-hmm. That's like the other thing I'm thinking about. But then again, like if I really want to be a psychologist that bad, it might be worth it. But I really miss, you know, being social. You know, like I want to still like have a life, and I don't want my life to be school and work, school and work, school and work. You know, that's why I'm at least trying to go to meetings now, so I still have some social aspect in my life.
So the reason I ask is because I worry about that myself, not having my shit together when I'm 40. And my friend Matt, who you saw me with at those AA meetings.
I remember him.
Yeah, he's 41 now, and he still doesn't have his shit together, and I worry about that, you know, because of him. Because I'll tell you, at that time, oh my God, you know, that I was staying with him in the San Carlos hotel for an entire month. The first month that I was in that home in Daly City, they let me stay. You know, with him. I didn't have to sleep there if I didn't want to, you know. So I got to stay with him like a couple of nights a week, and we just like I did all the drinking. He had to remain sober so he can like get his DUI classes over with and go back to Minnesota, which he did. But oh my God, that last night that we hung out, that was I was gonna give up drinking and give up the bar life after that, and then I realized my birthday was in a few days, and I was like, no, I'm gonna have fun my birthday and then stop, but I didn't, you know.
Well, yeah, that's what you usually tell yourself, like this one time, and you always just like your example, like justify with like a birthday or oh my friend's going away or you know whatever the reasoning behind it will be.
Yeah, the last night that he was in town, the day after he found out that the charges were dropped and he completed his NAAA meetings and stuff, we went to the Bar Yuppies in San Mateo, which is where he went all the time. We went there a bunch of times during that time, and he wanted to do cocaine one last time in California. So this guy that he knew at the bar said, you know, go to so and so's house around the corner. And oh my God, it was at that apartment complex on B Street that looks like a really trendy place. But when we went inside that guy's apartment, it was disgusting and terrible. And there's like 5 guys there, including a transvestite that was on the couch. And I fall asleep while he's in there doing the blow, and it was 2:35 or 2:45. We got there by 2:30, and by 2:45 I fell asleep. We were like up for a little bit, laughing, having a good time, but I was just so fucked up from the Maker's Mark and Coke I drink at the bar all night, you know? So I wake up at 4:45, and the transvestite is still there, and thank God my pants were still on. I mean, I like guys, but this transvestite was not attractive. So he comes out of the room and he's like, hey Tommy, we gotta go. The first bus comes in about 20 minutes. I was like, okay. So we left. We got on the 5:20 bus back to San Carlos. 5:45 a.m. We get there. I pass out on the floor. He wakes me up 10:30. Hey, we got a half an hour to check out of here and stuff, right? So he had his whole bedroom in that hotel, pretty much, right? And he had to throw all that shit away because he was getting on a plane back to Minnesota. So,
Oh my god, that sucks.
yeah, he was cool with it. So we threw everything away, cleaned everything up, got the hell out of there. We stopped at Target because he wanted to pick up some toiletries and stuff for the plane ride, and then we went to go eat Hawaiian barbecue in downtown San Mateo, and we had a good 2 hours just laughing, talking and stuff. And then he had to meet up with his friend who was buying his car from him and going to give him a ride to the airport. So we had a very emotional goodbye. And as I was walking to the bus stop, I was like, I gotta give up this lifestyle. And then I get a text from the security company saying I got the job. And I was all excited. I was like, okay, my birthday's in a few days. Let me celebrate. And then I'll stop. I'll stop. I'll do it for this job. But I didn't do it. I went a little slow for a little while because I was still making that commute from Daly City to Menlo Park. But then once I got in Redwood City, that's when the drinking, started really bad again, But I was crying at the bus stop just because Matt was such a good friend to me during that last month, and I felt like we really made a breakthrough in our friendship because we'd known each other 7 years to that point, and we had some rockiness going on a few years before that, and I was just like, I'm gonna miss the guy, and I have to go back to Daly City in this toxic home that I'm staying in. It was just it was really gloomy. I have to say, Lauren, really gloomy.
Yeah.
But he lives
I
in.
mean, at least you had that moment with him, and hopefully he's doing better now since he's in Minnesota.
He is. He got a job. He got a job out there. He had an interview during that week before he left, and he got the job. It was a phone interview. He got the job, and then he finally quit about a month or two ago because he just couldn't take bullshit that was going on with it. So now he's looking for a new job. But for 5 years, he was working steadily, got to pay off everybody that he borrowed money from. He was off the booze, off the drugs. He wasn't even being social, you know.
Oh man. Well, yeah, sometimes when you freshly, yeah, when you get into that lifestyle, you don't really know how to like be social or make friends because usually your hook was, hey, I got this beer, let's go, or hey, I got this Coke, let's go, because that's the problem I had during my first years. That was actually kind of my way to bond and to make friends. Is like, I got this. What do you want to do now? Kind of thing. So that was, it was kind of hard to learn those skills during that, first year.
Yeah. I was just, God, I just couldn't believe that, I survived all that. Especially that night. Oh my God, that was crazy.
Well, at least you can look back and just say, that's all you have to say is like, that was crazy, like instead of like, something more negative.
Yeah. I'm starting to get feeling back in my toes. That was, my foot that was broken from the accident.
Are you at least able to walk more better now, or is it still a process?
Still a process. I mean, my legs, my feet are like off to the side a little bit now and stuff. I think half that has to do with the weight I've put on and stuff. But my body is trying to get used to not having all that weight on me. I had some serious back trouble in March and a little bit in April. I don't know if I pulled a muscle or maybe my kidneys were not. Maybe my kidneys were hurting because of all the diet Pepsi I was drinking. I was drinking like these 1 liter bottles and stuff and stuff. I may have had a kidney stone and don't even know it. Um, but yeah, I mean my legs. I mean they feel fine. I mean they have their days where they're aching and they're stiff from sitting a lot, but for the most part they're fine. I know I'm due to go into the doctor soon, having my physical. It's been a couple of years.
And yeah, during that physical, yeah, just try to, address all the things you can to see. But yeah, I think you continuing your weight loss journey, that's going to help a lot with that. Like it'll help your muscles not have as much strain, and it might make your ligaments and your joints more flexible, so that you could start, having your gait, back to the way it was before the accident.
Yeah. I need to start having sex again. It's been a while.
And that part might help too, because that helps with your, your confidence, your well-being, and it'll probably help, build your resistance back too.
There was a girl that was living in the complex. She was an unhappy, overweight girl who was cute, and she had this asshole husband, and she had kids, both her kids and his kids, with her. She was just unhappy. She was trying to get with me the whole first summer that I was here, and I don't know what happened. She changed her mind pretty much. She started going. She went to Iowa, where she's from, and she decided that she was gonna leave her husband and start a new life there, and she did. And then I wasn't important anymore, so she unfriended me on Facebook, or maybe I unfriended her, one of the two, and we won't talk again and stuff. But one of the reasons why she didn't like, I can say this. I do know this. One of the reasons why she lost interest was because I was always calling out her husband when he was rude to me, and I think she wanted me to like take his shit just so he wouldn't be under any kind of suspicion, because I think maybe he suspected that she was cheating on him, maybe. So that's probably.
It's weird because usually when people make that decision to have a affair, they actually usually go for someone that's gonna help them through the process. That's kind of interesting that she thought it the other way. Like she wanted more of a submissive person.
Yeah. So yeah, it didn't happen and stuff. Oh my God, there were these two girls who lived next door. One of them had a husband. One of them was my age. The other one was like 10 years younger. They were both hot. One was heavy set, and one just had a nice body. I wanted to get with either of them, but it never happened. I don't have a whole lot of options here. There's a Christian church group of kids here, of kids like 18 to 22 here, that go to Bible study and stuff, and so they're. I think a lot of them are sexually active, but they just won't admit to it. You know.
Probably because when you're in certain organizations, you gotta be careful about voicing those kind of choices.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, now that LA is coming in the picture, it'll be pretty fucking easy to get laid out there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just keep up with your regimen, and before you know it, you'll have more opportunities.
I just interviewed the madam of the Bunny Ranch brothel in Las Vegas, and she told me let me know let me know if you come out there and stuff. She's like, I'll give you a discount. I don't know if I'll do it though. I don't know. I'm a little chicken because I know that they get tested for diseases and stuff, but I don't know. Part of me just doesn't want to take a chance.
Well, that's one of the cool things about Vegas is I honestly believe that prostitution should be legal because of the fact that it'll be, safer, and just like you said, their health gets taken care of and they're taken care of, and it's their choice and they have the power to decide, which clientele they have and which clientele they don't have. And so me personally, I think that should be legalized nationwide, but I don't know why it's not, because as long as it's not legalized, it means it's going to be less safe, and there's going to be more substance abuse and more physical abuse in that field. So I personally just don't get it.
Because those hypocritical politicians are, behind the Bible, even though in their personal lives they have sex with these prostitutes, they're trying to make it look like that they're respectable, and an example to the country. Fuck you.
And probably another issue is because they don't want women to have the power to be able to say, this is the client I have, this is the time I work, this is the rules or the boundaries. I bet you that's probably the other part of it too.
Exactly.
They don't want to allow that empowerment.
Exactly. Oh my God, they are just terrible. the way that they treat women. Oh my God. They're just gross. You know, especially our president.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, hopefully that won't have another 4-year term, but we'll see on that.
Yeah, so I mean, things are great right now. You know, they could be better, but they could also be a hell of a lot worse.
No, actually, it sounds like everything's going more in a positive and a forward direction for you, which is really cool. No, I'm really happy for you.
Oh, thank you so much. Because I've got, the friends that are helping me with this horror show are great, but I got so many fucking haters that I'm so disappointed in that I thought were my friends. And the funny part is, they like a lot of this shit that I'm doing, you know, but they're not supporting it for some reason.
What do you mean by they're not supporting it? Like they're just not contributing, you mean? Or?
They're not listening to the podcast. They're not liking it. They're not like messaging me and saying, "Hey, Tommy, you're doing good. Keep it up. I'm proud of you." You know, they're not doing stuff that you're doing, and all the people who are participating in the show. You know, they're just being stupid.
Well, I think it's just because everybody's so busy being involved in their own stuff, they don't realize, their impact on others. And it sounds like that's what's going on.
Well, I talk to them individually. I try to get them on the podcast, and they're like, "No, I will not do your stupid podcast or something like that." You know, just mean stuff. You know, and it's not of because of they have other things going on. It's just because they're just not supportive of it.
Now, me, I was just scared to do it because, like, I usually don't do, public appearance kind of stuff. So that was my thing. I was just scared of, being judged or, being vulnerable. So that was, like, my thing about it. Like, I wanted, deep down to do it. I just had to find the courage to do it.
So how did you find the courage to do it?
Well, I just, one morning just said, why not? Like I was doing like a deep meditation, and then after the meditation, that's actually when I think I texted you or messaged you, and I was like, I'll just do it. Oh. Like what's the there's nothing to be scared of. I mean, it's actually I rather do something and be scared about it than like not do something and regret it, because like that regret of not being proactive and not doing something, I think that regret's way bigger than the regret of taking that risk.
Oh, I'm so glad you did. What episodes have you listened to that you really like?
Actually, the one that you gave me as an example, that one I liked a lot. Gosh, I can't remember her name.
It was Diane Franklin.
Yeah, and then also the actress that was in Lost Boys. I can't remember her name, but I really liked her perspective and her positive energy.
Actress in Lost Boys.
The one that played the mom. Oh no.
Oh no, I didn't.
That's not it.
I didn't interview Diane Wiest. No, I would love to though.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting the face wrong. She has that same face. What was her name? I'm trying to remember now. Like I just saw it when I was looking at YouTube a couple of days ago. My God, I am. Sorry, I can't remember her name, but she has the same kind of face structure, and she had a curly hair and like small, like blue eyes. What is her name? Was it The Exorcist? No, it wasn't The Exorcist.
No, she was nuts.
No, I can't remember her name, but it was actually one that you just released. I think it was a couple days ago.
Oh, I interviewed a makeup artist of the Lost Boys, V. Neal.
That might have been. No, that's not it.
She had a very positive energy. She laughed a lot.
Okay, maybe I'm just mixing up the screenshot you had with the individual. That's what it was.
That was yesterday. I interviewed her, and she was cool. I met her at Monsterpalooza a couple of weeks ago. She was standoffish at first. I don't think she's used to having guys come to her at conventions and stuff, but she was really cool. She was like one of the guys. I made her laugh with my dirty jokes and stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Have you heard any of the episodes I've done where me and my friends are getting really explicit?
No, not yet. But I'm gonna start just to see more of the people that I would be interested in.
Yeah, there's a lot of them like that and stuff. We're just having fun, just having conversations about our sex lives or, movies and pop culture and all that stuff.
Well, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and every once in a while I have a celebrity come back on and we have dirty talk like that. The ones who are willing to have dirty talk.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the personality. Some people are more open in that area, and some like it to be more private. It just all depends.
Yeah, and they're all not easily offended, free spirits. You really have to be an actor and stuff, and do certain things, on screen and all that.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah, you have to be more of an open-minded rather than like a fixed mindset to be in that field.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm going through it now, and it's just like I can't believe all these people. It's so amazing. I had this one
Yeah,
guest.
you've been able to have a good cult following, which is really cool.
Yeah, I had this one guest on 5 months ago. I just found out about a month ago she went into a coma from having a bacterial infection, and I found out the other day she's doing better, but she's still got a long way to go. I was just like, oh God, that's so sad. We were gonna do another one. She really liked my dirty talk,
Are you gonna end up having like a show like that's just that category, or are you trying to go that direction? Or
It's just well, the show is politically incorrect no matter what, but no, I just want to give everybody a taste of everything, about movies, horror, sci-fi, cult movies, interview stand-up comedians, porn stars, just give everyone, something for everybody.
no, it's actually really good to think of your audience and try to broaden that horizon. Because yeah, maybe some people are really into horror movies, or maybe some people rather do comedy. So it's actually good that you're thinking about all the elements in the industry.
Yeah, and talking about your journey and stuff. This one comedian, Bert Kreischer, who's hilarious. His wife has a podcast where she talks to her friends about their journey and all the diversity the adversity they went through and stuff. She came on the podcast in January, and we basically just recreated her podcast on mine. It was so great. I'm having her back on again Friday, and I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, that sounds very exciting. That's really awesome.
Yeah, and I was at the Comedy Store in LA a couple weeks ago, and Bert was on stage. I wanted to go introduce myself to let him know I interviewed his wife, and then another comedian lured him away, so I didn't get to talk to him.
Well, you'll have other opportunities, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm just saying though, like I was like really looking forward to it. I did get to meet one comedian though. I got to meet Harlan Williams.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, he was so damn funny. Oh my God, he was just he was doing crowd work with everybody, including me and stuff. And like he came up to me afterwards and thanked me and stuff. And my mom was drunk. she was
Oh gosh.
she was heckling all the comedians, and it was just drove me crazy. She thought we were at an open mic. She's not used to seeing 15 comedians in a professional show. So she just thought that was an open mic, but everybody liked her, so it was okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, at least she had a good response, to the audience.
Yeah, no, we didn't have security telling her to be quiet or nothing.
Oh, did she get on the stage and everything, or?
No, 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 no. I'm just no, no, no. She was sitting next to me, but she was just heckling the comedians, and no, we didn't have any security or nothing telling us to be quiet. So that's what I was trying to say.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Have you heard the episodes where I have the guest play the silly game?
Oh, what's the silly game? Because that I don't think I've heard of yet.
It's the 4-question silly game. I ask you a question, you answer it, and then ask me the same thing. And
Oh, okay.
the first question, Lauren, are you ticklish?
Yes. Tommy, are you ticklish?
I am very ticklish. In fact, I am baby ticklish. I already know this question, but we can still answer. We can still do it for fun. Is your belly button an innie or an outie?
It is an innie. Tommy, is your belly button an innie or an outie?
It is an innie.
Ah.
What color are your toenails painted?
Actually, I don't have them painted right now. Tommy, what color are your toenails painted?
They are blue-green.
Oh, cool. Those are my favorite colors.
Yeah, I painted them that when I was going on the trip and stuff. I got to touch them up a little bit now. I want to have this color for a while because I'm getting so many compliments on it.
Yeah, those are the colors I actually usually pick is either blue or green when I do my own nails, actually.
Mm-hmm. And now here's my favorite question. Is there a stinky smell that makes you gag?
Trying to think. Yeah, I guess maybe the funk of someone's toenails. Is there a stinky smell that makes you gag, Tommy?
Every time I go into detail, I make a lot of people gag with this, but I had bad athlete's foot the first 6 months that I was out of the hospital, and
Oh man.
that comes pretty close to what your answer was. So that's as far as I'll go. I'll go with that. But yes, that's what it was.
Yeah, I didn't know what to think at first with that question. Like, I had to really think about it.
Oh yeah, I've gotten many great answers with that question. I've gotten feet. I've gotten farts. I mean, just everything.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the person too, because certain people probably have a higher tolerance than others.
Yeah. My mother, on the other hand, doesn't. Oh my God, she's a typical Italian. She's got a nose like a dog. I mean, she's very sensitive to smell.
Oh gosh. I didn't actually used to be until I got sober. I think my senses were kind of doled out for a while, but yeah, now I could smell things really well.
Really?
Or maybe it's because I used to be a smoker. I don't know if that's another big part of it.
Oh, I didn't know you smoked.
Yeah, I used to smoke cigarettes, but by the time you met me, I actually already quit. So.
Yeah, oh my God, I would work with people in certain jobs, and I'd see them smoking on their break, and I wouldn't ever at all expect them to be smokers.
Yeah, I think it's because people that don't smoke all that much, those are the ones that you can't tell, but the ones that really, smoke a lot, that's when you could really notice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my mom smoked 35 years. She quit in 2006, and we all bet that she was never going to quit, but she did, and I couldn't believe it. I'm so proud of her.
Oh, that's actually really, really cool, because the reason why I stopped smoking, because it got to the point where it wasn't really making me feel good anymore. It was actually making me sick, so I was like, okay, there's really no point of smoking if it's not going to allow me to unwind and relax and, make me feel bad instead.
Yeah, my grandmother, I can't tell you how old she was when she started. She must have been 15 because back in her generation, so many people started that young. But she finally quit when she was 72 because she had her second heart attack that year. And the doctor said if she didn't stop smoking, her life would be flushed down the toilet.
Yeah, it's amazing, like, how much of an impact, smoking has, because people always think when it's smoking, it's just your lungs, but it actually affects your heart, like, quite intensely. Like, your cardiovascular system is connected directly to your lungs, so so it does do a lot of things to your heart, to your blood pressure.
Yeah, she had 2 heart attacks, an aneurysm in her stomach, which eventually killed her. She struggled with, 7 years with that thing. Oh my God, it was intense. And oh my God, it gave her pain in her vagina. She used to walk around holding her vagina around the house. It was so damn funny.
Wow, that's weird that it's that interconnected, that affects, those kind of areas too. Wow.
They gave her a procedure in 1996, and they put her on this medicine that just made her giggly, and she was always angry about something and bitchy about something, but she would take the pills and start laughing at stuff. And I remember we're watching that movie Tom Hanks did early in his career, Bachelor Party. Very funny movie. And this guy, he's hanging naked off of a ledge with a bed sheet, and he's got handcuffs on and everything. And
Oh my gosh.
he falls right through the hood of this car with this couple in there that's making out, and then next thing you know, his bare ass is like right in their faces. And my grandmother was laughing so hard at that. Because they were screaming, they were terrified when that happened. And then another time, right? She's having pain from after that surgery, and she says, "I feel like I'm having triplets, natural childbirth."
Oh, jeez. Oh, poor thing.
Yeah, I miss her so much. I mean, my life was turned upside down when she died because I took care of her for 9 months after I graduated high school.
Oh gosh, yeah, it's not easy, especially at that age too.
Yeah, I took care of her for 9 months, and she got to see 9/11 happen, and she was terrified. Every time a plane would be flying in the sky, and she'd be, laying in her bed and she'd hear the plane. She was always paranoid that some Iranian was going to be dropping a bomb on her.
Oh my gosh, I mean, I can understand that perspective, but gosh, it's not easy to live in that state of mind like that.
Yeah. It was a Tuesday when that happened. And I remember that Friday, a football game at my high school. I was already graduated. I was going to go see the football game at the high school that was playing. They canceled it.
Oh man. It's not easy to cope with that kind of, incident, I mean, none of us, I don't think anyone knew how to cope with that, because no one ever thought, something like that would happen on American soil, or at least during that time frame, that stuff would happen on American soil.
Yeah, and I think that's why in today's world so many people are untrustworthy of other people, and they're so paranoid and they exude themselves in toxic relationships. I think it's all because of 9/11, because even though stuff like that happened before, it didn't happen as badly as it does now. And when I was growing up, we knew all of our neighbors on our block. I don't know any of my neighbors here, and it's because they're so standoffish.
Yeah, and people used to leave their front doors, wide open, no problem, and
Yeah.
like you said, like your neighbors would be able to actually sit down and come hang out with you, in your house. Now, like, there's none of that,
Yeah, when I was living in Arizona briefly in 2007, well, they had no choice but to keep their garage doors open because, it's 120 degrees every single day of the year. Um, People were being standoffish. Like, I'm walking around the neighborhood saying hi, and they're just like, just giving me this look like I just farted. It's just, I really think that 9/11 started that, and it's sad. And I really thought by now, we'd all be away from that. But then I think, Trump fucked it up even more.
Well, I think it's because we're all just waiting for that one moment to happen again, and we want to be prepared, and I think that's why there's still that energy going on. We don't want something like that to happen again.
Yeah, but there's been so many moments like that have happened since. So many people have died in mass murders and, you know, bombings and everything since then. But, I don't think 9/11, something like 9/11 will ever happen again. That was like a once in a lifetime thing that, hopefully it won't.
Yeah, hopefully we've got all the resources and all the preparation where, something like that won't get repeated.
Yeah, because God, that was just awful. And I think somebody semi-famous or like a relative of somebody semi-famous or something died in 9/11.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. And James Woods, he goes around saying that he saw suspicions that 9/11 were happening. He saw a guy who, in hindsight, may have been a terrorist with a bomb go on an airplane like a couple days before 9/11.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Oh yeah, he said it when it first happened. He was on a plane and there was a suspicious looking guy. He ended up reporting him just to be safe because there was something about him that just wasn't right. And then 9/11 happened a couple days later.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And this guy can't get work much in Hollywood anymore just because he's a conservative. He used to be a liberal and then he switched sides and he can't get work anymore now.
Oh gosh.
Which is sad because he's a great actor, James Woods.
He is. He's definitely a hallmark in the industry for sure.
Yeah. It's just, wow. Yeah.
Well, it's great catching up with you and talking to you, and thank you so much for inviting me on your show. And
Oh,
you are definitely one of my favorite people in the whole world, and definitely keep in touch and let me know how your venture continues.
oh, I'm blushing right now, Lauren. Oh, before you go, hun, I want to tell you this joke.
Okay.
Or actually, I have two. Okay, one's a one-liner and one's a story one. Okay, one-liner. You know how you make your wife scream twice?
No, how do you do that?
You fuck her up the ass and then wipe your dick on the curtain.
Oh my god. That one I've not heard before, actually.
A woman comic told me that one.
Oh shit.
Now here's one that everyone loves. Okay, Cinderella is about to go to the ball and she's on her period, and the fairy godmother gives her these magic tampons and says, "Okay, you can go to the ball, but you have to be home by midnight, or else they'll turn into a pumpkin." She says, "Okay, fairy godmother, I will." So 12:30 rolls around. Cinderella hasn't shown up. Fairy godmother's pacing around the house. Then by 4 a.m., Cinderella does show up, and she's stumbling drunk. And fairy godmother says to her, "Where were you? You were supposed to be home at midnight." And Cinderella's like, "I'm so sorry, fairy godmother. I met this great guy. His name was Peter.
Peter. Sorry, that
Pumpkin eater."
movie over my head. Oh, the pumpkin eater. Okay, now I get it. Sorry, delayed reaction.
Some people get it right away and don't find it funny, but some people get it right away and think it's hilarious.
That actually was a good one.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
I just didn't catch it right away
Thank you so much, Lauren. I'll talk to you soon. You know, I got so much, going on. That's going to be great and stuff. You know, when I get the show uploaded and everything, I'll send you a link to it.
Yeah, I'm very excited for you. And I love you, and I miss you very much.
I love you too, and I miss you very much as well. And I, and like I said, I'll talk to you soon and stuff. I don't know when I'm coming out to the Bay Area again. By this point, it looks like never, but never say never.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, we're still young.
We're still young. Okay, hun, you have yourself a great day.
You too. Love ya.
Love
Bye.
you. Bye bye. Well, there you have it. Lauren Liuzzi. Ain't she a sweetheart? Yes, she is. One of my very best friends and favorite people. God, I'm so blushing. I'm blushing right now as I say this, as I wrap this up. If you like this video, everyone, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Add me as a friend on Facebook. Join my Tommy Kovac comedian page on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. Well, that's all the time we have this week on Splat from the Past. Until next time, this is Tommy Throwback Kovac saying, there's no shame in living in the past, because the present sucks. Later, dudes!